you watched the last couple videos, you know that Clifford is finally running thanks to Robert, the Built C-Max. He drove up here from Birmingham, literally just fixed the truck in 6 minutes and went home. And it's time to talk about what happened. But for the first time in months, let's move her under her own power so that she's not sitting up against a pole anymore. And then I can use the driver's side door. And with that, Clifford is now back in her normal spot. Time to get down to what I've been wondering for the last couple months. What the hell happened here? First and foremost, we definitely did have a bad fickum. Robert and I diagnosed this one as being bad. This is a bad fickum. I'm gonna get this rebuilt at some point, and then we'll have an extra one for Clifford and any other LOIs that I get in the future. So Xander definitely came through with the fickum for Clifford. If the fickum was bad, why the hell didn't it start once we put the new one in? When I tried to crank the truck with that little bit of air leaking into the FAS, it screwed everything up. What was explained to me is that the FAS doesn't do any kind of air filtration. It only pumps fuel from the tank to the motor. If this is the case, then what it was doing is it was pumping aerated fuel because of that cracked filter up to the high pressure pump. The high pressure pump then forces that air into the injectors and it just sits there. Under normal circumstances, it's not that big a deal. Your injectors will just push that air out into the cylinders and it'll go out the exhaust and the truck will start relatively normally. The issue we had here is that the truck sat so long before I even diagnosed the fickum that the batteries were basically dead. It just sat there cranking over and over and over, giving someone like me the sense that there's something bigger at play. In the end, all it needed was acknowledgeable use of ether and a truck with a good alternator to jumpstart it. I did ask FAS to comment on the situation because obviously it is their pump that indirectly has caused all of this. What FAS says is that the FAS fuel system should not allow air to reach the injection pump simply from changing the fuel filters. After replacing the filters, and then they go through the process of how to change the filters, which I didn't do properly. I will give them that. It goes on to say that this is not an issue they've experienced with their fuel systems and is not a common concern reported by their customers. They're always looking for ways to improve their products, but based on their experience, it's not a known issue with the FAS system. In the end, am I getting rid of my FAS? No, probably not. I'm not really informed enough about this stuff to make a decision at the moment. What I can say is if you're looking to get a lift pump for your diesel pickup truck, do all the research that you possibly can and make the decision that is best for you. All I really care about is I got my truck back finally.